kind of want to clean up before I drop the car. So dropping the car is kind of my reward.
It's like a reward.
Nothing. So I've got a rattle in the rear suspension area on the passenger side, the right-hand side. So I've been kind of dealing with this for a while. I've gone back and forth with Annex, and we found the cause of the rattles at one point. They sent me a different lower end cap. They sent me a new assembly for that I replaced on the coilovers, and that seemed to get rid of it for a little bit. But I'm still running into an issue on the right-hand side, and the rattle seems to have gotten worse. I've done a nut and bolt check of all the suspension components that I've messed with multiple times. Nothing's loose, everything's torqued to spec. I don't really understand what's going on. It's been driving me absolutely insane. I can't say for sure whether it's the Annex suspension or not. However, the way that the rear part of the coilover is constructed, I think it's a very high probability. And what I might end up doing is having to design my own parts and get them machined and sent to me with tighter tolerances than the ones that are on there currently. I did have my wife drive the car around. I sat in the trunk and I listened to where it's coming from. It has to be the suspension area. Rattles coming from the suspension area makes me a little nervous. Let's go ahead and take off the suspension and see what's going on. The only thing I can think of is the design of this lower top hat. So this piece right here is one piece, and then this spacer right here is another piece with a smaller circumference that goes into this piece, this middle one right here. So it kind of looks like a top hat with a thick brim. Like this part is wider, and then a skinnier part goes into this body right here. Now the problem that I ran into with the previous way it was built was this was all one piece, and the space between the sides of the lower control arm, like from this wall to the wall over here, was 2 millimeters too short. So it was bouncing back and forth this way, like bump, 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 as I would go over bumps and hit the walls of the lower control arm, and it was making a pretty loud rattle. The sound sounds similar, but the tolerance here is not, I mean, it's much tighter. So I'm not sure if this could be causing it or what else it could be. And all the bolts are tight. I'll unmount the lower control arm from the shock, and then I'll look at I'll get my calipers out and measure the tolerance between the bolt and that, the bushing, and just take a few measurements, and we'll see where that gets us. All right, so this is what I was talking about. So this is the bushing that goes inside of this part of the shock. So it slips in there and goes between this piece and the wall of the lower control arm. So I'm going to measure the dimensions on this to make sure that it is actually tight, and to make sure that the bolt that goes in here doesn't have the ability to wiggle around too much. There's a little bit of wobble in there, but I don't think it's enough to make the noise that I was hearing. Let's see, where's the bolt that goes into? That is actually, feels pretty loose. It's necked up right here. That could potentially make the noise that I'm hearing. So what I'm gonna do is measure this bolt, take the dimensions of this, design a new bushing right here that will fit tighter around this bolt, and maybe fit a little snugger, more snug in the control arm. The inside diameter needs to be snugged up a bit for sure. I can't tell if it's completely straight through or not, but this bolt is a bit wider right here. So if the whole thing is fit to go around this bolt, I mean, that is quite a bit of wiggle. That is a lot of wiggle. So yeah, if it's designed for a tolerance on this, it's going to be even larger on this part of the bolt, which does have the potential to cause some rattle. So I don't know where I left off last week, but I just got done at Subaru. I picked up those bolts and it's still rattling away back there. So I think what I'm planning on doing is check the diffuser bolts, the suspension air cover bolts, and I'm going to also check the spats. I don't think it's the spats, but I'm gonna check just in case. They're carbon fiber, so I don't think they'll be making that much noise. Check it out. Very, very nice. Okay. I stripped a bolt. Actually, I think the rivet's loose inside the body. Let's go ahead and take a drive on this, see what it sounds like. So let's put the wheel back on. I'll leave all my tools out. I'm gonna go under a bridge down here that is really rough, and we'll see what we can see. So far, so good. There is still a little bit of rattle, not nearly as bad, I don't think. I think that suspension cover had something to do with it, for sure. Okay, well this is great. I need to get a rivet tool. I will maybe try to compress that rivet a bit more. I can also 3D print some bushings, so just very thin bushings, like maybe 1/2 mil, to go between the diffuser and the suspension cover, because there is some rubbing there, and I can imagine that might click whenever the car flexes a tiny bit. I think this is enough for me to be satisfied with saying it is it was that suspension cover. I'm happy. I am happy. Okay, this bump on my driveway, I'm gonna go down it here in a second. It would usually clunk, so let's listen. I heard a little click, but I don't know what that was. Definitely not as bad as it was before. Awesome. I have goosebumps. I'm so excited. I know you can tell already by my face that I'm excited. I don't have to tell you. I'm gonna do some research real quick. If Lowe's has one or Home Depot has one, I'm gonna run there, pick it up, try to crimp that rivet down a little better. Try to no, then I need a 3D model the bushing, and I think that's it. Do you ever go to a store and you're just like, pumps? I want one of those. I don't have any use for it, but I'll tell you what, that is a dangerous store. Got a free bucket though. Check that out. So always need more of those. Ooh, it comes with riv nuts. Okay, I figured it out. So this collar slides down, and then you unscrew that. So, okay. Oh, okay. Oh man, got a cramp in my neck. Okay, these M8s are ridiculous. Did you have to use an M8 for this? Oh, okay. Whew. I think I got a pretty good smush on it there. Okay. That is not going anywhere. blue Loctite officially on. BLOO. Almost dropped it there. So, a little trick that you can do is whenever you have nuts in hard to reach spots, kind of have the locking feature on them, you can put a little bit of tape on top, stick them to that top surface, and then move whatever you need to into position, and then just be careful not to push it off the tape. But then you can, it's a lot easier to get the hardware on there because the nut doesn't move. That's another thing, like whenever you, like, see that? It's got a little lip so it just hangs on a little bit. Make your life easier. All right, now you see this little gap here. This doesn't have a screw for a little while. And so I'm wondering if this was like tapping together at all. But now with those little spacers, it will not tap. I wonder how much noise that's been making. I'm going to see what my lovely wife, what she wants for dinner. So, just gonna go pick up the food. Pay really close attention to the bumps. Oh, I think we fixed it. I don't want to speak too soon, but I think we did fix it. Food secured. So yeah, I've got the back wide open, and I don't hear anything. Well, I hear a tiny bit, which I think it's those loose bushings, but other than that, oh, that was my torque wrench. I forgot that was back there. It's good. If that slips off and goes into the truck, it's gonna be loud. I'm so pleased. I think those spacers combined with that tightening those rivets, I think those are the two main things that did it. Man, I'm so happy. That rattle has been the bane of my driving enjoyment. Nothing. Be kind to someone today, and I will see you next time.